What if the ancient pyramids of Egypt weren't just stone and mystery, but magical monuments alive with glowing energy, talking scarabs, and enchanted secrets waiting to be discovered? Imagine the desert not as a harsh landscape, but as a place of color, wonder, and ancient adventure, brought to life through the heart and soul of Disney Pixar. In this world, every grain of sand carries a spell, every tomb hides a whispering spirit, and every explorer is a wide-eyed child chasing ancient legends under a sky filled with stars. Stay with us, because this journey into a reimagined Egypt is about to take you somewhere unforgettable. As the golden sun begins to set over the dunes, we see the pyramids like never before. Not dry, lifeless ruins, but glowing temples of light and fantasy. Their edges shimmer as the sunlight turns amber. From above, the view stretches endlessly wide and cinematic. Suddenly, from within the dunes, tiny glowing shapes begin to rise, scarabs. But these aren't ordinary insects. They're Disney-style, with soft faces and sparkling wings. They fly in graceful patterns, drawing symbols in the sky like living hieroglyphs. The wind kicks up sparkling golden sand, swirling gently around the base of the pyramids, making everything feel alive, enchanted. The desert breathes, and the pyramids seem to pulse with energy, waiting for something or someone. What if the ancient pyramids of Egypt weren't just stone and mystery, but magical monuments alive with glowing energy, talking scarabs, and enchanted secrets waiting to be discovered? Imagine the desert not as a harsh landscape, but as a place of color, wonder, and ancient adventure, brought to life through the heart and soul of Disney Pixar. In this world, every grain of sand carries a spell, every tomb hides a whispering spirit, and every explorer is a wide-eyed child chasing ancient legends under a sky filled with stars. Stay with us, because this journey into a reimagined Egypt is about to take you somewhere unforgettable. As the golden sun begins to set over the dunes, we see the pyramids like never before. Not dry, lifeless ruins, but glowing temples of light and fantasy. Their edges shimmer as the sunlight turns amber. From above, the view stretches endlessly wide and cinematic. Suddenly, from within the dunes, tiny glowing shapes begin to rise, scarabs. But these aren't ordinary insects. They're Disney-style, with soft faces and sparkling wings. They fly in graceful patterns, drawing symbols in the sky like living hieroglyphs. The wind kicks up sparkling golden sand, swirling gently around the base of the pyramids, making everything feel alive, enchanted. The desert breathes, and the pyramids seem to pulse with energy, waiting for something or someone. Then, two curious children appear, young adventurers, styled in classic Disney form. They step carefully across the sand, eyes wide, following a strange glow emerging from the base of one pyramid. One holds an enchanted torch, its flame dancing with unnatural colors. As they approach the stones, ancient symbols begin to light up around them, soft blues, purples, and golds illuminating like a magical circuit. The entrance to a hidden tomb appears, opening slowly with a low hum. Shadows flicker behind them, and there's a sense of both danger and discovery. But they step forward, hand in hand, ready to explore a mystery lost to time. Inside the tomb, we enter a chamber straight from a fantasy. Treasures float in the air, jewels spinning slowly, glowing with light from unseen sources. The walls are covered in moving glyphs, and just as one child reaches out to touch a floating crown, clank, an ancient trap activates. Blades sweep from walls. Armor suits spring to life, moving on their own, their eyes glowing. The kids duck, jump, laugh, and shout, narrowly escaping each challenge. The scene moves fast, capturing mid-air flips and comedic falls, all with that signature Pixar-style flair for adventure and emotion. It's not just about survival, it's about curiosity, cleverness, and courage. And then, the sarcophagus begins to glow. In the center of the chamber, a grand stone coffin splits open with a burst of magical light. A figure rises, tall, regal, cloaked in ancient royal attire with a golden cape flowing as if caught in an eternal breeze. It's the spirit of a pharaoh, majestic and mysterious. His eyes shine like stars. Floating symbols orbit around him, and for a moment, time seems to stop. The children freeze. Awe, fear, fascination. The spirit speaks not with words, but with symbols and gestures, offering guidance, perhaps a warning. It's not evil. It's not angry. It's proud, ancient, and wise, and it recognizes the children's bravery. Finally, we move outside, where the desert is now cloaked in twilight. Stars fill the sky, and a strange light glows along the edges of the pyramids. Magical lines of energy pulse through the stone, connecting them like a constellation drawn on the earth. In the distance, the soft forms of camel-shaped spirits walk the dunes, glowing faintly like walking moonlight. An aurora shimmers in the night sky, unusual, otherworldly, and breathtaking. The whole desert feels sacred, silent, alive. This version of Egypt is not just a setting. It's a story, a heartbeat, a forgotten world brought back to life through animation and emotion. It mixes the mystery of ancient history with the warmth and expression of Disney. Here, danger is balanced with wonder. The ancient isn't terrifying, it's beautiful, and it's waiting for someone brave enough to unlock it. So now that you've seen the pyramids like never before, what would you do if you could walk through this enchanted Egypt? Would you follow glowing scarabs into the unknown? Sneak past ancient traps to find floating treasure? Or speak with the spirit of a pharaoh under a sky filled with magic? Tell us in the comments, and remember, every desert hides a secret, and every secret begins with a spark of imagination. The sand beneath their feet sparkles faintly, as though charged with forgotten spells. Every step sends up a small puff of glittering dust. The kids look at each other, excited, nervous, and full of wonder. "Do you think it's really here?" one whispers. "The lost tomb of the light pharaoh," the other nods, eyes fixed ahead, where the air itself seems to shimmer. Their torch glows brighter as they approach a large stone slab half buried in the dunes. Ancient glyphs ripple across the surface, moving as if alive. The torchlight makes them dance, casting ever-changing shadows that seem to form pictures. Suddenly, a deep rumble echoes from beneath the sand. The stone trembles, then splits down the middle. The entrance yawns open like a mouth, inviting and daring them to enter. Inside, the temperature drops, but the air is thick with energy. Floating particles drift like embers in slow motion. The walls whisper in forgotten languages. As they walk deeper into the tomb, their reflections appear on the polished stone walls, only slightly altered, dressed like young rulers of a forgotten time. "Is this showing us," one asks, "or who we're meant to become?" Statues along the hallway turn their heads slowly as they pass, their jeweled eyes glowing. Then a sudden clank. A wall slides shut behind them. They're sealed in, but they're not afraid. This is where the real adventure begins. The main chamber opens into a circular hall with a domed ceiling covered in a moving star map. Constellations shift above, glowing with real stardust. Every step the children take lights up a different segment of the floor. Treasure floats around them, spinning slowly, rings, crowns, and golden tools suspended in midair. But it's not just treasure. Each object tells a story. One crown replays the rise of a queen in light and music. Another shows a battle of sorcerers in fire and shadow. The room is a library of memories. Then movement, subtle at first. Suits of armor lining the walls begin to move. Not clunky or robotic, but smoothly, almost like dancers. One raises its sword, not to attack, but to salute the children. They bow instinctively. The armor returns the gesture and steps aside, revealing a hidden path behind it. They follow the path to the sarcophagus chamber. The sarcophagus doesn't just glow, it sings. A harmonic hum resonates through the chamber, making the dust on the floor tremble. As it opens, beams of light shoot out, forming symbols in the air, ancient writing that rearranges into modern words. "You have been chosen." The pharaoh's spirit rises, not menacing but wise, ageless, and powerful. He looks at the children not as intruders but as heirs. "You've come far," he says, his voice like wind through stone. "And farther you shall go." He waves a hand, and the ceiling becomes transparent, showing the stars outside. A projection of the past plays above them, how the pyramids were raised with magic, not manpower. How ancient scholars harnessed the energy of the earth to communicate with the cosmos. "The world has forgotten," he says, "but you can remind them." Outside, the desert has changed. It's no longer just sand and sky, it's a living canvas of history and energy. The spirits of ancient animals, lions, crocodiles, ibises, walk peacefully among the dunes. The children climb a dune and watch the magical aurora swirl across the heavens. The stars seem closer now, more personal, like old friends watching from above. As dawn begins to break, The pyramids pulse with color one last time before returning to stillness. The scarabs return, swirling once more in the air, drawing symbols that slowly fade as the sunlight grows stronger. The children look at each other, eyes wide with everything they've seen, hearts racing with everything they've learned. They haven't just discovered a tomb, they've awakened a world, and it will never be silent again. So now we ask you, what would you hope to find in the sands of time?